Xfinity Mobile is a new kind of network designed to save you money while streaming your favorite music, like that 90s Jams playlist you've played 72 times today. It combines America's largest, most reliable 4G LTE with the most Wi-Fi hotspots. Get up to 5 lines of unlimited nationwide talk and text included with your Xfinity Internet at no extra cost. All you pay for is data. Visit an Xfinity store or click now to see how much you can save with Xfinity Mobile. Restrictions apply. Requires Xfinity Internet service. Equipment, taxes, fees, and other charges extra. Limited to 2 lines pending Internet activation.
Welcome to Blog Talk Radio in high fidelity.
Jimmy Mack is a renowned medical intuitive and spiritual life coach who has taken, completed, and even mastered a variety of healing modalities. After a near-death experience, he was shown and developed a simpler way to create healing and profound changes, now known as My Liquid Fish. He works with clients in person, on the phone, and over Skype worldwide, accessing energetic powers and co-creating changes that you can actually feel. Call in now to reserve your spot on the switchboard. The call-in number is 713-955-0594. Press 1 if you would like to ask Jimmy Mack a question. Enjoy this 1 hour of profound healing.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. It's the Jimmy Mack Healing Show. We're coming to you live out of the Tampa Bay area region of Florida and the great USA, and we hope you guys are doing fantastic. Some great weather here this week at least. Lots of folks coming down for that. We're actually going to be in the 80s, so that's pretty rare even for us in February, so great times. It's all good. Appreciate everybody being here. You can find out more about me, of course, at jimmymackhealing.com. If you send us an email, info@jimmymackhealing.com, we will send you out a whole bunch of stuff that's audio and video and ebooks, and it's all free, folks. Once a week, we have a little TGI Wednesday newsletter as well. It's our little e-newsletter, and that gives you updates and affirmations, inspiration, comedy, a little bit of everything. So if you're not already getting the TGI Wednesday newsletter, please get on our list and just send us a little lip, and we'll gladly start sending it out to you once a week. So hope everybody's doing fantastic. Couple of announcements coming up. Wednesday afternoon, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow, I will be on the Charlotte Spicer Show. That's a great radio show. Blog Talk's been going on for about 10 years now, and we do that the first Wednesday of every month, about 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Charlotte Spicer, for those of you who do not know, is a really good reader, healer in her own right. And so it is her Blog Talk radio show, Spiritual Insights with Charlotte Spicer. And you can find that online, of course, or send us a little note, and we'll send you the link for tomorrow's show live. And a bunch of appearances coming up this month, of course. I'll be at kodawariyoga.com in Tampa every Wednesday, 9 a.m. to 1:15 p.m. So if you want to get on the schedule, see me live in person, then by all means, get a hold of them. They keep the schedule. The last Monday of the month, I'll be at Dr. Charlotte Timpone's office. I'm there about every month, and that'll be the last Monday in February. So that's about it. We also have a special this month. Sandy would be screaming at me if I forgot, in a loving and kind way, of course. We do have a Love Audio MP3. It's on sale. It's about half off what it normally is. It's over 30 minutes of really a recording that will transmute issues and blocks and negative beliefs about love, loving yourself, loving others, accepting, deserving, and receiving love. So for those of you that are in search of that ideal twin flame or soulmate, or just looking to date a higher group of folks who are looking for that special loved one, reach out. We'll send you information on that as well. So awesome. So every week we definitely go out of our way to find new talent and exciting, fun folks. And today is no exception, of course. And today we have Leslie Draper. A little bit about Leslie. She's known commonly as the Oklahoma Bible Belt Mystic. It's a rough crowd, Oklahoma and Texas, doing what we do. So it's really proud of her for doing all that. She's a minister and a medium, healer, teacher, intuitive, and coach. She's very clairvoyant, clairaudient, clairsentient, and claircognizant. Leslie works with medical doctors, psychologists, other professionals to provide her clients with comprehensive spiritual care. She's subject of a book on angelic communication written by Archbishop Robert Wise, and she was received as the spiritual director into the Communion of Evangelical Episcopal Churches. I love that because I grew up Episcopal, so we're going to chat about that. Leslie works daily to build a bridge between the metaphysical and spiritual communities with the Christian Church, and she's founder and CEO of My Light Worker Institute. It's a nonprofit organization in Norman, Oklahoma. She offers spiritual counseling, intuitive coaching, mediumship, past life record analysis, and healing services at her Norman, Oklahoma location, as well as, of course, phone and Skype, just like I do. You can find out more at thebiblebeltmystic.com. That's BIBLEBELTMYSTIC.com. Welcome to the show, Leslie. How are you today?
I'm awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. We're glad you're here, honey. What's been going on in Norman, Oklahoma?
Well, fun fact, did you know it's actually illegal in Oklahoma to provide psychic services?
Oh, wow. So you're kind of skating the whole mystical part of that.
It actually is. In 1916, Oklahoma passed a law making clairvoyant, tarot card readings, prophecy, the entire enchilada is still illegal in the state of Oklahoma. So it's every day you know that you're doing something that could bring unwanted attention, but yet it's your purpose. So you get up every day and you go to work and you do it.
Wow. Very interesting. Yeah. Lots been going on with that. You know, I always tell folks, Corinthians 12:1, as you know, and that is all about healing by the laying on of hands and interpretation of tongues, speaking in tongues, prophecy, all that. So it's a little unusual for. Yeah, it's hard.
As well. You know, you can also quote John 14:12 there. And that was when Christ said, "You will do the things that I do, and even greater things than these." Or actually go to the Father. And being in Oklahoma, I need to be well versed in my scripture.
Yeah. Hey, I'm getting like every other word, Leslie, and this often happens with spirit. When I talk to people in Europe on Skype, it sounds like choo-choo trains and submarines. Can you call back in really quick and let's see if we can get a different line? All right, Sonny, thank you so much. We're going to look for your phone number to call. Thank you. So often this happens, folks. I swear to you, I'll talk to somebody in, Orlando, might be fuzzy, and, you know, I'll talk to somebody in the state of Florida, even on Skype or Zoom and one of those channels, and it's just like choo-choo trains and submarines and all kinds of interference. And then I'll talk to somebody in Paris, France, and it's clear as a bell. So we never know what we're going to get. So we're glad that everybody's here. By all means, you're going to want a reading and or a healing, and that's fine too. So certainly call in at the show if you're listening via the link online. The show phone number is 713-955-0594. Have to hit pound 1 or 1 to raise your hand so that Reverend Tiffany can, in fact, see you. So definitely want to do that. Again, it's 713-955-0594. And again, hit 1, pound 1, I think it is, to raise your hand, and we'll be underway here shortly. And appreciate everybody being on the line. And like I said, we got all kinds of information and different things coming up here in the next few minutes. And hopefully we can get a better line with her calling back in. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, now it's 1,000,000% better. Yes, love. Thank you so much.
Yay!
Fantastic. Yeah, there you are. Awesome. Now we're tracking it really, really good. So sometimes that happens. I'm sure it's happened to you before plenty of times. To me, it's kind of spirit just being mischievous, if you will. And, you know, sometimes those things show up. How are you today? Everything else okay?
Yes, everything's great. We're cold here in Oklahoma, so when I heard you say you were going to be like 80,
Yeah, 80.
like, oh man,
Right.
that would be lovely.
A whole other
Lovely.
world.
We're supposed to
Cold.
have ice today.
Oh yeah, cold to me is 70 degrees or lower. So I
Oh.
can't imagine Oklahoma. Amazing. So tell folks about you, how to get a hold of you. Of course, the website, your email, perhaps the phone number. I know it's got an angelic piece to the phone number even, so that's easy to write down and remember. But tell folks how to get a hold of you if they want to get a reading, honey.
Okay, so the office line is 405-59-ANGEL, but I'll tell you right now, we get way too many phone calls to return all of them. So I use an online scheduling system, and you can link to that through my website, which is, it points to the same website, but you can go to BibleBeltMystic.com or MyLightWorker.com, and both will point you to my website with, some testimonials, some blog stuff, and then a scheduling site where you can make an appointment, and we can do them via Skype, via telephone, or in person if you're local.
Love it. So tell folks earlier, because it is quite the conundrum of it being illegal in your area to give readings of prophecy, and yet you're in the Bible Belt. If you Google in through the Bible Belt prophecy or, healing, gosh, it would take you a month of Sundays to even read all the references in the Bible. So tell folks about that, because I find it interesting.
Well, what I find here, especially the dynamic in this part of the Bible Belt, is that the people are undergoing a spiritual awakening. It's everywhere, but because we've been so indoctrinated into the dogma of religion, and we've had we've become myopic in our ability to see truth. We just see very little pieces of it, and we're very nearsighted in that regard. So by trying to build this bridge, I'm giving people a pathway to grow spiritually, to develop their own intuitive gifts, and to believe in healing by right of consciousness. And I was the first person I had to heal. I was diagnosed with MS when I was 20, and then rheumatoid arthritis and fibromyalgia by the time I was 30. So I spent many years unable to walk and unable to drive or function or have a good life. And so I really realized that it was a lot of programming on me that was causing me to believe that I needed to suffer in order to be worthy of God's love. And we see that a lot right here in this area of the country. And so trying to open eyes and help people see that there is a different pathway, to spirit. And you can build that bridge and still attend your Christian church and be with your Christian family, but yet be very deeply spiritual and have a very spiritually centered life where you own your gifts and you own your consciousness, and you're willing to work to make those things create a better life for you.
No doubt.
That's kind of it in a nutshell.
I love it. No, that's plenty. And expand more on the evangelical side, or at least the ministerial side of the Episcopal Church, because I grew up Episcopal, but I'm pretty darn sure in my high-end neighborhood, if you will, that those folks, the Episcopals there, are way different than whatever Episcopal piece you're talking about. So
yes, and it really took a long time for me to be willing to accept that position with the Communion of Evangelical Episcopal Churches. My Archbishop had to work really hard to get me open to the idea, because I wasn't. But what I realized is that they believe in spiritual gifts, and they believe in healing, and they believe in angelic communication, but it was just the wording was how we were on different sides. So when I agreed to take that office, I made it perfectly clear that I was not going to change me or what I do. I'm going to still do exactly as Spirit directs, but I will try to build that bridge. The group I work with, my Archbishop, sorry, frog in my throat here. My Archbishop actually works directly with Pope Francis. And so, it's a really good connection. He is the apostolic representative for Christian unity designated by Pope Francis. So, we really are building bridges over here. We're trying to, at least.
Yeah, at least waking them up a little bit, because there's just so much change going on, and it's probably slower to happen in Oklahoma, Texas, let's say. God love them, but they've been, knee deep in Bible thumping and reading from the stump of the tree for so long. It's hard for them to get into this without, being concerned about what the source is. But it's all God stuff, as you well know.
Yes, it is. All the same. We just get so hung up on the wording. whether I say universe, cosmic mind, or God. Whether I say spirit, guide, spirit, Holy Spirit, angel. It's just a term, but we're all talking about the same thing.
No doubt. Yeah, I find that it's very, very spiritual. It's more my stuff is more Holy Spirit stuff than anything else. So it's very interesting, whether it's across the room or phone or Skype or wherever it might be. Tell folks how to get a hold of you for reading, Sonny, the website and the phone number and that sort of thing. Best email.
BibleBeltMystic.com or MyLightWorker.com. They point to the same site. So My Lightworker Institute is my nonprofit. That's the side that works with the CEEC, the Evangelical Communion of Evangelical Episcopal Churches. The Bible Belt Mystic is my name. And so they both point to the same site. And on the site, you can schedule an appointment, see what offerings are available. 405-59-ANGEL is the phone number that I use for my office. And then my email is Leslie, just Leslie, at either one of those domains. So Leslie at BibleBeltMystic.com or Leslie at MyLightWorker.com. It all goes to the same inbox, no matter which one you choose.
Okay, good to know that too. And tell folks what it would be like. I mean, as far as readings go, you do 15 minutes, 30 minutes based on time. Is it, cards? You're just shooting from the hip from what I'm reading, which is good.
All the above.
Okay.
All of the above. It's just exactly whatever the client needs. My shortest session that I typically offer is 50 minutes, and then I have one that's an hour and 45 minutes. And it just depends. I have some clients that feel like they need to pull oracle cards, and I allow them to do that. I have some that would just rather hear directly from spirit. So it's whatever it's that client session. I will, within reason, operate however they're most comfortable. But I would say that as a coach is probably one of my strongest gifts, is helping figure out where you're stuck, what karmic thing or what soul lesson or what soul contract might be in the way, and then helping you navigate that, whether it's releasing it or healing it or balancing it out, and then moving forward into life. So whatever it is you want to manifest, that new job, that new relationship, that healthy body, that's where I think I do my best work, is figuring out where we're stuck and how we can get from where we are to where we want to be in the most gentle path possible.
Right. Very cool. Very cool.
Now, I do a lot of past life work too.
Okay. And don't you find also that helps folks? I mean, if they are afraid of traveling or airplanes or that sort of thing, a lot of times I find that is the fact that they had maybe 3 lifetimes ago, they were in a plane crash or something. It's really interconnected. Have you found that to be true as well?
Absolutely. My joke that I tell people is, give me 3 minutes in your past lives and I will know more about you than knowing you 10 years in this lifetime. And it's true. It's true. It's so true.
No, it's very true. Well, Reverend Tiffany is, of course, on Skype right now, and I'm just waiting to hear from. I know we got a lot of folks listening to the show. We just need to know what numbers are coming through as far as people raising their hands. But let's go ahead and dabble in some of this. So if you're reading for me, if you're doing, and I'll be glad to heal on you as soon as we're through with this. I know you'd mentioned a child sick, but it will work on that as well. Does that sound good?
That sounds great.
Awesome. So do you need date of birth or anything like that from me? Does that help? Or?
No.
Okay.
Just give me a second to get access.
Sure.
And we will see what we get.
Yeah.
Okay.
Love it.
Okay, so, it does look to me, and I honored the teacher role for you in this lifetime, but it looks to me like you've done it so many lifetimes that you need, this lifetime you had to change it. It couldn't be the same teacher role you've been in before. So you've been the Christian preacher, you've been the Buddhist monk, you've been in these roles where you have been teaching, whether we call it enlightenment or whether we call it God connection or however you want to word it, you've been there time and time again. But in this lifetime is the one where you are to really let go of, the lifetimes where you face persecution from it. So lifetimes where, your prophecy was a little too good or, it was judged to be quite questionable. If I go back into your Akashics, you were in a scene. That is the first thing I see, is that you were in a scene and you did live at the same time that Christ did. And so
Right.
the Essenes were a mystical community that knew how to do the same things. And so your history on this planet goes back there. I do believe that you're a star seed. I can't quite get your origin because I think you've been on quite a few places. It would take me quite a bit of time to try to figure out where you started. But I can tell you there's a Pleiadian connection and there's a Sirius connection. And I also think you bebopped through Arcturus. So, you know, you've been doing this so long. Make sure that you're taking breaks because your soul has been doing this for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. If you haven't brought in
just
your
to let you know how on track you are, a friend of mine that's been an acupuncturist and intuitive for probably 40 years now, he even said my very first lifetime was a healer, and of course I feel like this will hopefully be my last lifetime doing this, and at least I can even more ethereal as far as not having to come back after my near-death experience. So you're just spot on with all that, and it's very interesting, and I love it when we go cold like this because, you know, it's no BS. It's just, you know, shooting from the hip. So
yeah, just what's in there. You just start, oh, there's that and there's that. I mean, you have. I would really be, if these were my lifetimes, I would be ready for something other than teaching and healing.
Right. And
I
I
really
think we
would.
both have shared some persecution this lifetime. I know I have. I've had my fill of that too. So.
Well, if I follow that Essene lifetime, you know, that the Essenes offered relative safety as long as you stayed in the mystical hidden community. But as soon as you left, you know, you really were in danger. And so I see danger hitting all the way through France, through Italy and through France, even as an Essene, meaning that you traveled quite a bit in that lifetime and were quite triggering to some people. And I think you're also here to kind of build a bridge between spirituality and Christianity and undo some of the damage done in those lifetimes immediately following, you know, what we call the Christ years. To see that undone, some of that damage undone. I'm also getting that you spent at least, well, I'm going to say one solid lifetime, which means, I mean, it was a longer lifetime. It wasn't like an in and out real quick. You spent at least one lifetime where you actually worked in the Vatican, like in this small room. I'm way down, so I'm going to say like a basement or a tunnel or something. And you were hand scribing scrolls and you were hand scribing things. Now, I think this was before we had an actual Bible. So this would have been, you know, individual collections, and you were writing them, and you were being, you know, persuaded and pushed to change things, to change wording to suit the political culture at the time and not go with what the teachings on the scrolls actually were.
I love it, and it's so spot on because I love Game of Thrones. I've seen it since day one, and I just resonated so much with him being in the dark areas there, the library, if you will, and writing things, and you know, being with the healers and the doctors and the whatever. So
that's it. You are a protector and a vessel for esoteric knowledge that is meant to be held and shared on this planet.
Love it. And you know, now what's interesting, as you well know, is everything's so immediate, so electric, so having to do with the internet and everything else. Even my courses, everything's online. It's all audio, it's video, it's downloadable stuff. And so it's come a long way from, you know, us preaching by the campfire and hoping it works out. You know, it's created just
that's right.
a reaching point around the world, which is really, really cool. Well, you'd mentioned, I appreciate that. That's profound. And it's so, folks, I haven't met her before other than today. So for it to be that accurate, I'd encourage you to just definitely get a reading with her. And, you know, pretty wild stuff. You mentioned a child, I think, that's ill?
Yes, my youngest.
Work on you. Your youngest, okay.
Yeah, she has
girl?
a bug, the flu bug.
Yeah.
Yep, a girl. She's 10.
Okay. All right. So awesome. So let's work on you first and get you cleaned up enough to work on her. So if you want to stand up, face due north, or if you ever use a pendulum, we could use that too. So either way is fine. But if you stand up and you face due north and you just say, my name is Leslie, it should pull you forward.
Okay. My name is Leslie. Okay.
Nice. And if you say, my name is Nemo the fish, it's going to pull you back.
My name is Nemo the fish. It did pull me back.
Nice. So we're going to clean you up and just go, I am clear, and we'll see if you go forward, back, or in between.
Okay. I am clear. It was a delay forward.
Way forward. Love it. Second one is I am unclear.
I am unclear. Oh, that was back right away.
Love it. And then the third is I am running forward.
I am running forward. Forward.
Yeah, awesome. So now we got you cleaned up. What's your daughter's name?
Piper.
Piper. I love that name. Cool. So then we're going to do the same thing for her. And this is us turning on the computer, jumping to the internet, and then going to Amazon, eBay, and what have you. So Piper is clear. See if she goes forward, back, or in between. The energy is going to feel different, and it may be completely opposite of you since she's sick, and that's okay. Piper is clear.
Okay. Went backwards.
Yeah, so I'm going to change it to yes. I just changed it, so you'll feel the wave, and all my stuff looks like a fish, and that's all I'm doing is instead of the sign of the cross, the sign of the fish. And it's going to pull you forward when it comes into clear.
Okay, done.
Nice. And the second one would be Piper is unclear.
Piper is unclear. And that pulled me back.
Good. And we'll leave that. Piper is running forward.
Piper is running forward. A delay and then a little bit forward.
Yeah, so we're going to make that stronger for her. And all I'm doing is going to heaven and fishing and running forward, which is body, mind, spirit, relationships, money. We got to have the car and drive. It'll pull you forward harder when it changes.
Okay. It just changed.
There you go. Awesome.
Yep.
So then I would just, I don't get the flu per se. It's a virus. They're saying it's bacterial though. I don't get that it's the flu, by the way, but that's okay. We're just going to say.
Well, we've already had the flu once this year, so.
Okay, that's why. This is not it. Just so you know, it does show as bacterial. Obviously, you can be doing Paw d'Arco or colloidal silver. She tests were really good for golden seal, by the way, echinacea golden seal. So tons and tons of that, if you will. Is she on antibiotics now?
No.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
So she doesn't even test.
Try to save that as the last resort.
Yeah, she doesn't even test for needing antibiotics, surprisingly enough. And most people, I tell everybody, be okay with having a Z-Pack now and again. It's okay. But you can just go ahead and say Piper has an overwhelm of bacterial infection. It's going to pull you forward to yes.
Yes.
And we're going to release it, delete and erase it, disentangle it all off of her now. Pull her mother, Leslie, straight back when you're done with Piper. Thank you.
Oh, yep, that worked. That was fun.
There you go. Yeah, and then I would do Piper's learned all the lessons she needed to from this sickness.
Piper has learned all the lessons she has needed to from this sickness. Okay, forward.
And having this sickness still serves Piper.
Having this sickness still serves Piper. Back.
Good. So what are her symptoms now? And we'll work on changing those as well through prayer.
Okay. Like right now, she's complaining of congestion, not being able to breathe, and her throat hurting.
So I don't get, it's not sinus, but it is nasal passages, and it's not bronchial, but it's lungs, which is certainly deeper for that. And so we definitely want to work on changing that for her. So we're just going to clear out nasal passages and lungs. So her nasal passages and lungs, it's either inflammation or constricted, and she shows constricted. You can just say that, Piper's nasal passages and lungs.
Piper's nasal passages and lungs are constricted, and that was an immediate forward.
Yeah, so all I'm going to do is release it, resolve it, delete and erase it, disentangle it all out now. Have her learn all the lessons she needed to from this, release her from the service to it, pull Leslie back when you're done.
There it went.
Nice. So lungs are generally about sadness or sorrow, so she does have some sorrow. Certainly it's not from this lifetime at age 10. There's only so much they can be sorrow-filled about. But it's 1, 2, 3, 4 lifetimes ago of sorrow. She was a man then, or a woman then. She was a woman then too, they're saying. So we're going to grab that 4 lifetimes ago as a woman. Piper had extreme sorrow is going to pull you forward for yes.
Okay. 4 lifetimes ago, Piper had extreme sorrow. Forward, yes.
We're going to delete it, erase it, and resolve it. Disentangle it all out now. Pull Leslie straight back when you're done. Thank you.
Boy, that must have been messy. Because I'm not being pulled back yet.
You will.
Yeah.
You will. Learned all the lessons you
Yeah.
need to from it and release her from the service to it. Pull Leslie back when you're done. Thank you.
There we went back. Okay.
Love it. Yeah. And then I would go with, it's inflammation or restriction or constricted, and she feels constricted. So you can just say that Piper's breathing is constricted.
Piper's breathing is constricted. I went back.
Good. And that's better now. So if we jump an hour or two, if we jump 3 hours ago, it's going to pull you forward. I just put 3 hours above your head. It's going to pull you forward.
Okay. Yes, it is.
And that's the difference. So those are timelines, and we're just kind of jumping around just to show it to you. But let's
I love timelines.
Yeah, let's make it safe and comfortable for Piper to breathe free and clear.
Okay, forward on that.
Good. Found a helper too, honey. So very cool.
Thank you.
Love it.
She's a gifted child herself. Highly psychic.
Well, that's a super cool name too. I would expect no less coming from you, Mama. So that's a good thing. I love it. So yeah, somewhere between all the weather and all that, we are having some technical difficulties with Blog Talk and iHeart right now. So I'm seeing Reverend Tiffany, but not getting the callers. So I know we have a lot of callers on the line listening, but there's no numbers coming through or showing up as far as taking callers. So is there anything else you wanted to talk about, love?
Well, I can definitely tell you Piper's story because it's actually very cool.
I love it.
I was having a hysterectomy in 4 days when I found out I was pregnant with her. And the doctor gave her zero chance viability, 0 chance. And she just fought to be here. And they sent me to specialists and geneticists, and everyone told me there was 0 chance viability. I needed to terminate the pregnancy. And I kept saying, I got pregnant 4 days before a hysterectomy. These things don't just happen. This is bigger than us. This is a miracle. So this child is born, and she does have what appears to be delays at first. She doesn't walk until she's 13 months old. She didn't really talk at all until she was over 2. And so it's kind of, I understand now why, but she started having visions and night terrors, both of the bad police. And she would say things to me like, do you remember when they took everybody's clothes off and threw them in the holes dead? And do you remember when they shot everybody and took all their shoes? And she's telling me vivid stories of World War II and the Holocaust. And she would tell me things that she couldn't have known at age 3, memories of the bad police. And she'd wake up screaming, the bad police are here. And then when we finally got this to a point of healing, she pulled me into that timeline. There was a tornado, and the tornado sirens were going off. And I was putting all the kids in the hidey hole closet. And she just latched onto me. And when she did, she pulled me into another timeline. And I was on the 2nd floor in this building that was bombs were going off all around us. And I was holding her and she was holding me, and there was nowhere for us to go. Like the bombs were exploding everything near us, but there was no place to hide and no place to go. So all we did was hide in the corner. And she took me there, and it was so real that it was real. It was so real. And right after that, after she took me there, she started to let it go and to heal. And now she doesn't connect to that at all. And she's not afraid of uniforms anymore.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. So definitely, Holocaust kind of stuff. It feels like Italy, by the way. It's not even Germany, it's Italy. So that's very interesting where y'all were. So just pretty amazing. She pulled me,
unlike anything I've ever seen. She pulled me into that moment. And it was so real. It was like as if I was there. And, you know, it was her emotion. And right after that was when she started healing it. And the bad dreams stopped. And she started seeing police officers and not being afraid, because she was terrified of anybody in a uniform.
Wow.
Uniform scared her. And now she doesn't have any of those memories or any of those fears. But it's just such a powerful lesson. And what we bring in with us, you know, stays with us until we heal it.
Love it. Yeah, well said. And I tell everybody, watch the movie with Tom Hanks. It's Cloud Atlas. And in that movie, he's like 5 different lifetimes. He's an abolitionist. He's a murderer. He's a outer space guy. And I laugh over these folks that they'll always say, you know, oh, you only have one life to live. I'm like, boy, are they going to be in for a shock. And,
right. There's going to be some surprises there.
Yeah, and certainly, I mean, you know, in this body during this time frame, perhaps with your mission, yeah, you got this one life, and I get that, but trust me, you've had many lifetimes and many masters going on with that. I'd share with you my 3-year-old, since she went through that at 3, my granddaughter, her name's Charlie, and she's a dream, and she visited here one day. She comes every couple times a week, and she left with my son, and he called me 10 minutes after they left, and I said, oh my God, I wonder if that can't be good. Why is he calling me? He says, I want to let you know Charlie's in her car seat behind me, and what she just said. I said, what did she say? She said, and Charlie said, I love going to Grandpa's house. There's so many ghosties there. And so, isn't that a riot? And so it's like, you know, if you don't tell them they can't see them, right? It's like they're seeing everything. My cat sees them too, and it's just like, as long as they're good, they're welcome, right? I love it.
That is right.
I love it.
That is awesome.
Yeah. So what is your practice primarily? What have you found? I know you're like me, you do a little bit of everything, but have you had more cancer people lately? Have you had more people about money or relationships, or what is the focus
money.
on the moon and all that?
Money. Everybody now is trying to heal money karma and create prosperity. So, and I actually have a master class right now called Actualized Prosperity that I'm teaching to help people break some of those false programmings around money and create new money coming in, but money.
Local, or is that something they can join online as well?
The Actualized Prosperity class is online. Now I have a spiritual development course that's local, but the Actualized Prosperity you can join online. I stream live on Facebook every Sunday night.
Oh, man. Tell folks how to get a hold of that. They're going to want to do that. What's the Facebook?
Yep. If you send me a friend request, I can add you to the group, like send me a message and say, add me to the group. Or if you want to find the group is actually just called Actualized Prosperity with Leslie Draper.
I love that. I don't know how we wound up with Lisa on one of the announcements, but that's pretty funny too. You gotta admit.
Oh, that's everybody calls me Lisa.
Isn't that funny? And so my folks are pretty sharp, and for them to somehow have Lisa on there was quite funny. But we're changing it. And on Blog Talk iHeart, it's always been Leslie, so don't ask me why, but that's quite funny. To me, sometimes it's spirit coming through with things like that. So very cool. Anything else you wanted to address today, love?
Well, the other thing I would say that I'm seeing a lot of right now are people wanting freedom from false beliefs. And so, you know, I really encourage people to take a look at what it is you believe, because if you're not having whatever it is you desire, we're meant to have good lives. I think we've forgotten that somewhere along the line, and we've decided that my mother just texted me and said, I almost named you Lisa Renee.
Wow.
So she heard that and texted. But we are meant to have great lives, and we have forgotten that, and we are thinking that we're made to come here and suffer and struggle and have hardship after hardship, and that's the way, you know, to grow is only through adversity. And, you know, we grow in lots of ways, and if you're not having the life you want, if you're not having the health, the relationship, the joy, the prosperity, the connections, the gifts that you desire, you probably have some beliefs somewhere in you that are working against you. So be willing to look at what you believe.
Yeah. Dreamy. Hey, Tiffany is texting me, at least it's coming to you instead of Skype. Sometimes this happens. 941's our next caller. Hi, 941. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Catherine. I'm calling from Florida.
Hey, Catherine, you have a question for Leslie?
Well, I have a question for both of you, actually, and it'll take a minute for me to explain what it is I want some clarity with. In June of 16, I was diagnosed with stage 1 colon cancer, and they removed the tumor, and they wanted to take out a foot of my colon, do radiation chemotherapy. I said, no, we're not going to do that at all. I had a gut feeling that this was all due to poor eating habits for a lifetime. And so I put myself on a weight loss regimen. I lost some weight. The holidays came, screwed everything up, went right back to where I started from for about a year. And about 2 months ago, I really got back on the stick, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to do it this time. And I'm feeling really good because I have dropped about maybe 1/5 of the total weight that I want to lose. I'm feeling very healthy. I'm feeling a lot more, I'm not sure if whole is the word inside, but that's the best one I can, think of right off the top of my head. And I just want to know if either of you are picking up anything for me regarding better health.
Leslie?
Okay. So a couple of things come through right away. One is you do have an active soul fracture in the colon. And so, sorry about that. I had a beep come through on my phone.
I was just going to say, I didn't hear anything. I heard soul fracture.
Yeah. Well, I had the do not disturb on, but evidently Spirit liked to turn it off. So I fixed it now. So you do have a soul fracture from another lifetime in that colon area. And it really does have to do with times of feast versus famine. So this was a lifetime where there were times where there was plenty to eat. You didn't have to worry. You could let food go through you easily. And then you came upon a famine where there wasn't enough food. So it's kind of like you had to hold on to it. And so even the blockage in the colon energy comes from holding on. It wouldn't surprise me if you had adhesions or something in there prior to that stage 1 diagnosis, because I'm getting the soul fracture of like holding on to food for nutrition, because you just don't know when the next meal or the next opportunity for food is going to be. And I mean, this looks very medieval to me. So like if you go to a medieval fair, these are the years that this lifetime kind of looks like. So you've got that you need to heal and address and work on feeling safe. It's safe for me to absorb nutrition. It's safe for me to let the food just process through me, take what you need, let the rest pass through. The second part of it is, in that lifetime you got stuck into a fight, flight, or freeze energy. And so when I try to connect, I do the freeze, but I feel the flight, but I really freeze when I connect to that energy. So I'm going to suggest to you that feeling safe and like processing through anything that makes you feel unsafe would be very helpful. I do think that this fight, flight, or freeze energy is contributing to adrenal fatigue. And so, there's lots of different things for adrenal fatigue, and I'm going, rhodiola, I think, if that's how you say it. I've only read it and written it. I've never said it out loud before. But rhodiola is the thing that I used for adrenal fatigue. And so I would recommend doing those things too. And also Google the MTHFRG mutation and see if that fits. Because I do think you have not a severe level, but I do think you have some variation of the MTHFRG mutation that is affecting this. This mutation affects your brain's ability to produce serotonin and melatonin. And so when you can't regulate your mood and your sleep to the best of your abilities, it causes other parts of your body to go haywire, which absolutely can affect the adrenal fatigue, the fight, flight, or freeze energy that I'm seeing, which also affects mood, which affects your ability to feel safe and to process and heal that soul fracture over the gut. And that's pretty much what I'm getting. I think the safer you feel, the more you deal with the G mutation and the adrenal fatigue, the more you're going to find the weight falls off, the more you feel safe and know that food is predictable and it's always going to be there for you, the safer you're going to feel and not holding on to it or hoarding it in your body. And, just also always bless your water. Like anytime you have a water bottle in your hand, you're going to be chugging that water, bless that water, give that water a job. So, okay, water, today what you're going to do is you're going to heal my fatigue levels. Or today, water, what you're going to do is you're going to give me lots of energy so I can get everything done. But water is one of the most powerful energetic sponges we have, and it really will do whatever you program it to do. So always bless your water, always pray over your water, and let it work for you. It's a powerful, powerful tool. And for healing,
that's very cool because. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I was going to say I only recently discovered about intermittent water fasting, and I have had the most success with that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's interesting that you just brought that up. Yeah. So.
Yeah, water is important for you. Very important, and make it work for you. You know, so that's.
Okay.
I realized I talked a lot there, so I'll stop now and Jimmy.
Oh, that's okay.
No, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Need to be said. Yeah. So level 1, I'm not overly concerned about. Certainly, I feel like you can manage that. You want to stand up for a minute, feel the energy?
I am.
I just own it and say I have colon cancer level 1 or stage 1.
I have colon cancer stage 1.
Stage 1 should pull you forward for yes.
Actually, I just felt pulled back.
There you go. So I don't even get that you have that, so it's less than that. So there you go. Symptoms of it, they want to go symptoms of it. That'll pull you forward.
Symptoms of it?
Yeah.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Trippy.
That's what I do. So we're going to release that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we're going to delete and erase them, disentangle them all out now. It's going to pull you straight back when it leaves.
It did. Oh my gosh. That almost took me off my seat.
Yeah. I get that you've learned all the lessons you need to from this, but having it in some weird way still serves you. That's going to pull you forward to yes.
And it did immediately.
And we're going to release that too. It's going to pull you back when it leaves. I just changed it.
And it did. Oh my God, this is such a trap. I've never had this done before. Oh my goodness.
That's me, love. That's why I can't go to dinner parties anymore, because they're going to go, what do you do? Here we go. Here we go. Right? Thanks so much for calling in, honey. If you're not on my TGI Wednesday list, info@jimmymackhealing.com. You're a neighbor. You're out of Sarasota. I'm in Clearwater, so I'll be glad to help you in any way I can, okay?
Yep, I'm down on the Cape in Cape Coral, so we're not too far away, about 2 hours.
Yeah. Well, we're still neighbors, same state. It's all good.
Yeah, we're neighbors.
Okay. Thanks for calling in.
Thanks
all
to
right.
both of you today. Bless you.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Catherine.
814 is our next caller. Hi, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello, this is Greg from Pennsylvania.
Hey, Greg. Do you have a question for Leslie?
Yeah. I've been, lately, I've been trying to shake, kind of hit my reset button, and I've kind of been going on like a blog talk marathon. Just listening to the shows, and it seems like I get a lot of peace just knowing that there's a lot of people out there doing different things, a lot of peace to be myself. And I was hoping that was going to get me in the right direction. It seems like I can erase those old relationships just by knowing how many cool people there are out there. And if you had any other advice.
Okay. Archangel Michael is the one that is stepping forward to talk. And when they make a presentation out of who is speaking, I always pass that information along. And it looks to me like your frequency, your magnet, just almost attracts the wrong kind of people all the time. And so not just this lifetime, I can go back a couple lifetimes and see where you really do attract broken people. That's the side of you that wants to be the healer and the helper. But, we have to keep our dynamic as the healer and helper and not as the person who develops codependency in these relationships. And so that can be really challenging sometimes. And you do attract broken people, especially people who have like energy attachments, negative energy attachments, and they kind of feed off. It's almost like they're parasitic in a way, and these relationships can kind of feed off you, leaving you feel very drained, very empty, without a whole lot of energy and stamina for yourself. Have you ever heard that expression, you cannot pour from an empty cup? Meaning that, you can't give if you don't have any.
I've gotten a lot of words about parasites and things like that.
Yeah, you really do need some good energy cleansing on that.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I've been hanging out on Blog Talk some, is because it seems like there's more agreement. It's like whenever I meet people that agree and say that you can have your own space, then actually I can do that for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I'm just stuck with the regular, I guess the everyday people, and I try to break those cords, it's almost like, sometimes I get the word like they bite. Almost like trying to pull a parasite off, and it'll try to bite you or torment you as you're trying to pour it off. So, and I know good relationships and help me, get that out without any, trouble. So the parasite thing is a big problem.
Yes, I like your reset because you need one. And going back into your Akashic records, it looks like there's a lot of, I'm going to use a term and then I'm going to define it because I'm probably going to use it a little differently than maybe some other people think of it. But I'm going to use the term of, there's a lot of this original sin pain and original sin feeling not being good enough, no matter what, going back multiple lifetimes where you just, it's the Old Testament part about never being good enough, always falling short of the glory of God. And I definitely fall on the side where I believe we have original blessing instead of original sin. But I think in lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, you belonged in to families and groups that really focused on that you're never going to be good enough. You're always going to fall short of the glory of God. Your only way to to save your soul or be repentant here is to suffer or is to sacrifice yourself, martyr yourself, give of yourself to the point that you have nothing left, and maybe then you'll be worthy of God's grace. And so you've got some work you've got to do here to see that you have original blessing and not original sin, and that you are every bit as worthy of the happiness, the joy, the health, the peaceful relationships, and the love as you're willing to always give away. This sacrificing myself energy is one that it's one of the difficult ones, honestly, because you just constantly feel like you must do it. But it's time to let that go and to not be, what parasites go for, what they're attracted to. Your psychic sponge, so your empath level, think of a different word here, your empath level is high enough that you're attracting and you're absorbing all of these negative energies from these parasitic energies, but you're not clearing yourself. And even your sensors, which on an empath, the sensors are like these little energy hair-like fibers that go out there, and think of it like they go ahead of you and they kind of fill the room to see, yes, this room is safe for me, or no, this room isn't safe for me, or yes, this person is safe for me, or no. Your sensors are fried. They are singed.
Yeah, I know.
It's just like taking a straightener and burning off all your hair. Your sensors are just shot. So you do need a reset, and you do need to, get clear with these parasitic energies. I would recommend a whole lot of mirror work. Louise Hay has a really good book on mirror work, and that would be my first suggestion, is getting used to that idea of looking in the mirror and saying to yourself, I love you. And if you can't say that, then you say, I'm willing to learn to love you, and start to see your inherent value that is not sacrificing yourself.
I've had a significant number of dreams where I'm looking at the mirror, okay, and I see someone else's face. And I don't know if I'm accurately interpreting it, but sometimes I get really mad because I feel like somebody's overshadowing me. Or maybe I'm carrying somebody else's burden. One time I punched the mirror, and it was looking like behind me, and I think somebody had their hand on my shoulder. So
no doubt. Well, stick with Blog Talk, because there's nothing wrong with that. Blog Talk and iHeartRadio seems to be your peoples, if you will. The other thing that's going to show up when I ask Spirit, viral bacteria, mold, fungus, mildew, yeast, candida, negative pathogen, parasites, is you definitely have parasites. So read all about and consider taking the food-grade diatomaceous earth. You can Google about that, read about that, or Google parasite cleanses. You don't test for wormwood and those sort of things. They usually have black walnut hulls or green walnut hulls, cloves, worm and Sweet Annie in them, but you don't test for that. You test for diatomaceous earth. So look into food grade diatomaceous earth.
I have that.
Yeah, it's going to help you a lot. You need as much as a tablespoon like 3 times a day for like a couple weeks to get all this out of you. So I would consider that, read about it, and we'll help you any way we can. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Thanks for calling in today. 727, I believe, will be our final caller. Hi, what's your name? I know where you're calling from, but...
Hey, it's Sarah. How are you today?
Hey, I'm good, Sarah. You got a question for Leslie?
I do, and kind of for both of you. I'm trying to get my ex-boyfriend out of my thoughts, and then if I don't try not to think about him too much, he's showing up in my dreams at night, and like, enough already.
Okay. Yeah, that's actually common. What I find is that we have what I call your default vibration, and your default vibration is what literally fuels the thoughts that are in your head. And when I'm working with clients one-on-one like this, how I explain it is, you are your energy body, your soul, all of you, and then it's like you're a goldfish in a goldfish bowl. And that bowl is just as much you as your nose. Okay, but it is the goldfish bowl, and all the water in it is you. And so every thought that you think, every word that you speak, everything that you hear, everything that you read, you watch on TV, it all becomes floating charges in this quantum energy field that we call the goldfish bowl. And so what happens is that your goldfish bowl is what produces those thoughts. So those thoughts that pop in your head when you're not really thinking of anything, they come from that quantum energy field. They come from there. So the only way to really clear yourself of those thoughts is to go work on your default vibration, to work on the part of you that fuels the thoughts, and do regular, purges and releases. And if you need to write him a letter and burn it, or if you need to visualize yourself taking Archangel Michael's sword and cut the cord that exists between the two of you. But I do want to suggest this is not just this lifetime. You guys have had heavy lifetimes and heavy karma. In fact, you weren't lovers in that regard. You were business partners. And this was a big, thriving business. I don't know if they would have called it business back then, but it was in ancient Greece. And you did a lot of importing and sold a lot of things. And he pretty much did you dirty on it and kind of stole the business out from underneath you. And you had been best friends prior. So the dynamic of it is almost like one of distrust from the karma that exists there. You'll need to let go of, I suggest you do a brain dump on this. And a brain dump is where you have to have, a couple hours, quiet, no interruptions, get out a piece of paper, and you ask yourself, what is it I believe about? And then you say either him or my relationship with him or our history. And then you just write down everything that pops in your head until you get to your seed statement. When you get to your seed statement, then this is the core that I have to change in order to change the outcome. But looking at your karma together, you've got business lifetimes where money was involved. And, so it's not just relationship
now,
stuff, it's money. Yeah. Well, it's not just relationship, it's money. That's what I was going to say. And boy, that's a whole new dynamic, right?
Yeah, and it's not the first time I've heard that we were connected in other lifetimes. So it's kind of interesting you picked up on that. And I believe it.
Kind of looks
when I first
like
met him, it felt like I knew him, was one of those like, oh, it's you,
Anything else we can help you with, honey?
No, just, how like when I get emotional, it affects my health. So I very much like Leslie have rheumatoid arthritis, and they told me fibromyalgia. I just don't really buy into it. I probably buy into the RA more than anything else. So all that's just been flaring with the stress of my last year. So I'm just trying to get everything back under control and so I can be more functional. That's all. But I do appreciate that feedback. I'm going to try the data dump. I haven't done that yet on him. I did with other people, but I appreciate it.
Love it. Yeah, anything we can do to help out. That's why we're here, love. Thanks for listening. Awesome. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Dorothy.
Thanks for calling. Well, Leslie, we're going to wind the show down, but I wanted to at least, I appreciate you having you on, by the way. Thank you so much for being on. And tell folks how to get a hold of you. Yeah, tell everybody the website, the phone numbers, the Facebook event, too, for money.
Facebook is Leslie Draper Lightworker or My Lightworker Institute. You can find me on either one of those. Website is BibleBeltMystic.com or MyLightworker.com. Phone is 405-59-ANGEL. And then if you want to join that prosperity class, it's an ongoing class, and you can join it now, even though you'll start not at the very beginning of it, but it's called Actualized Prosperity, and it's a group on Facebook, and the class streams live Sunday evenings, but the video stays there. So if you can't watch it Sunday evenings, you can watch it Monday. You can watch it Tuesday. But I just want to help everybody create a magnificent life.
Awesome. Thanks so much for being on the show, honey. Folks, that's our show for today. I want to wish everybody that the rest of your life will be the best of your life, and to remember to make progress every day. Thanks, everybody. Have a great week. Bye-bye.
You bring your phone everywhere. Work, school, the movies. Now you can bring it to an Xfinity store for an easy way to switch to Xfinity Mobile, a new kind of network designed to save you money. You can get up to 5 lines of talk and text included with Xfinity Internet at no extra cost, so all you pay for is data. It's never been easier to switch to Xfinity Mobile and keep the phone you love. Click here to see how. Sorry, I gotta take this. Restrictions apply. Limited to select mobile phones. Requires activation of a new line of Xfinity Mobile. Up to 5 devices per account. New Xfinity Internet customers limited to up to 2 lines pending activation of Internet service.